Welcome to You Brew Kombucha. This is your guide to picking the best place to keep your brewing vessels. There really aren't a ton of rules when it comes to storing your kombucha brewing vessels. You want to keep them out of direct sunlight because sunlight can have antibacterial effects. And you know that kombucha is full of really fantastic, good live bacteria. You want that bacteria to stay alive for you, so you want to try to minimize its exposure to sunlight so that it doesn't end up killing any of that bacteria that's in your kombucha. Some people like to store their kombucha in a pantry or a cupboard. I recommend keeping it somewhere where there's really good air circulation, especially if your cupboard might get moist every once in a while. It could harbor mold. So find a spot that's relatively out of the way so you won't feel tempted to mess around with your brewing vessels too often. Make sure that it's got plenty of good air circulation. Make sure that it's away from any harsh chemicals that might be sprayed into the air, like air fresheners or Febreze or any kind of cleaning products that you have around the house. And if you ferment any other types of food in your house, like beer or kefir, or if you make sourdough bread, just do your best to put as much distance as you can between your fermenting foods. All of those are really good bacteria and yeast, but if you want them to be distinct and you don't want them to cross-contaminate each other, it's best to put a little bit of distance between your fermenting foods. My husband and I home brew beer at home, and we keep our kombucha vessels across our living room away from our beer brewing vessels. Just find somewhere in your home that has pretty consistent temperature. Kombucha can ferment between 65 and 85 degrees, though it tends to thrive in the mid to high 70s. So just find a place that works for you. And when it comes to location, all of this really only applies to your brewing vessels during the first fermentation stage. Once your kombucha is bottled, it doesn't really matter where you keep it. At that point, once my kombucha is flavored and bottled, that's when I like to store it in a cupboard, only because it's out of the way. And just in case I didn't do a good job of sealing my bottles, any mess or spillage that might happen is in a contained location. But otherwise, it's really up to you. If you want more information, make sure you check out the other videos on my channel, and you can always go to youbrewkombucha.com for more. Happy brewing!